Streets disciple my raps, I trifle, shoot slugs from my brain just like a rifle, stampede the stage and lift the microphones, plead, play Mr. Tuffy while I'm on some pretty tone. Verbal assassin, my architect pleases. When I was 12, I was sent to hell for snuffing Jesus. Well, welcome or welcome back to another episode of Exploring Creativity and Culture. Now, if you don't already know, Exploring Creativity and Culture is a section where I dive deep to bring you mind-blowing stories, rap and acting tactics. So please join me in today's video as we go to Queensbridge, New York and meet the architect known as Nas Nas. So please get yourself a gun and let's get right into this video. Now let's kick things off by taking a trip to 14 September 1973 when the rebel to America was born. Well, let's get into it. Way before he was Illmatic, Nas was delivering dope performances live at the barbecue.
Swimming in women like a lifeguard. Put on a bulletproof nigga, I strike hard. Kidnap the president's wife without a plan. And hanging niggas like the Ku Klux Klan. I melt mics to the sound waves over. Hey yo, step into me, you'd rather step to Jehovah.
While no one knew that Lush Professor would mentor a young man that would later change the face of the game. Way before the term influencer was even a thing, Nas was an influencer. Name a rapper that I ain't influenced. Well, many artists regard Nas as one of the greatest MCs to have ever existed on the face of this planet Earth. Artists like, well, Jay-Z, yep, him. Jay-Z, yep, him. Tech-9, Wale, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Common. I mean, it might seem like I'm name-dropping old heads, but even 21 Savage himself realized this when he was featured in a song called One Mic, One Gun. After having said that Nas was irrelevant, he later changed his statement, saying when you turn into a legend, there's no such thing as relevance. I personally loved Nas's response, which was, it's all love.
He's not relevant. He just has a loyal ass fan base.
Thank you.
He just has a loyal fan base and he still make good ass music. But
They don't
like
record
relevant. Well,
Nas has continually proved that he is the greatest to have ever done it. I mean, even the teacher himself, KRS-One, recognizes Nas as one of the greatest MCs of all time.
What makes you say Nas? Why? That is dope. This shit is dope. This shit is dope. Nas is dope. To me, Nas is the top MC. You ask me.
From having features with Cool G Rap to having features with Big Sean, 5U Foreign, Corday, and whoever runs the game, Nas has continually proved that he will remain the godfather of the game.
I spend my life trying not to be careless. Women and children can be careless, but not men.
That was a mouthful, right? But let's just take a look at Nas's discography before we dive deep into what he has done for the culture. With 17 studio albums which include Illmatic, It Was Written, I Am, Nostradamus, Stillmatic, God's Son, Streets Disciple, Hip Hop Is Dead, Untitled, Life Is Good, Nasir, King's Disease 2, Magic, King's Disease 3, Magic 2, Magic 3, and collaboration albums which include the album with The Fam, Distant Relatives with Damian Marley. I mean, the numbers don't lie, boy. They just don't. But it wasn't all glitz and glam. I mean, as we all know that life is hard, and especially if you're a person of color, hard seems to be like it's on steroids or something. But that didn't stop the mic assassin from being one of the top influences in this game that we love so very much? Well, we just explored the brief history or story of Nas, but that doesn't end there. I mean, how did he get here? What are some of his life events? Let's get right into that. No matter how hard the past is, you can always begin again. That statement proved to be true for a young Nas. As a young child, his family relocated to Queensbridge. His father is a recognized jazz and blues musician. His mother, Fanny Ann, was a postal worker. But in 1985, his parents unfortunately divorced. But that didn't stop Nas from achieving greatness. I mean, the man was even recognized by a university professor for his skills. Now, if that is not legendary, I don't know what is.
Grapefruit is this thing, your noodle, your noggin, your whatever. So that's just another word. So wisdom is leaking out of it as I'm doing this word. I'm trying to sound cool, and with just other words for.
And that's one of the ways your pen is extreme.
Before we get lost in the sauce, let us first investigate the impact of Nas's Illmatic. Illmatic is often hailed as one of the most influential albums in hip-hop history, and its impact on the genre cannot be overstated. Released in 1994, it marked the debut of Nas, and it quickly gained critical acclaim for its lyrical depth, storytelling prowess, and vivid depiction of life in Queensbridge. Some aspects of Illmatic's impact on hip-hop are lyricism and storytelling. Illmatic is revered for its lyrical, intricate storytelling. Number 2, production. The production on Illmatic is handled by renowned producers such as DJ Premier, Large Professor, Pete Rock, and Q-Tip. This showcased a blend of gritty beats, jazz samples, and soulful melodies. On number 3, we have strict authenticity. Nas's authenticity and honesty resonated deeply with listeners. And lastly, cultural impact. Nas's Illmatic is often cited as a quintessential piece of hip-hop culture. Its impact exceeds beyond just music, influencing fashion, language, and the overall aesthetics of hip-hop during the mid-90s. Wow, that was so very much interesting, but the legend doesn't end there, it continues. Now that the foundation has been laid, let us take a look at Nas's evolution and what type of legacy resulted from that evolution. Nas's third and fourth albums, I Am and Nostradamus, were criticized as inconsistent and too commercially oriented, with critics and audiences fearing a decline in the quality of his output. Now enter Jay-Z. Even though I won't talk about the well-known feud that resulted into the phrase known as "Ethard" being invented, this made the proverb "iron sharpens iron" true because Nas evolved. In the 2000s and beyond, Nas's music took a more mature and socially conscious tone. Albums like Stillmatic, Godson, Life is Good showcased his growth as a lyricist and a storyteller, earning him a continued acclaim from both fans and critics alike. He would later release albums like King's Disease 1-3, Magic 1-3. The former gave him a Grammy win. He is the truest. Name a rapper that he ain't influenced. Nas is often cited by many artists as having influenced them. For example, Jay-Z, Kanye West, Kendrick Lamar, and J. Cole. Damn, I let Nas down. But now he's also inspired many artists to use their platforms for social change because of his willingness to tackle both social and political matters. Nas's ambitions also go into business as well because he's invested in startup companies, venture capitals, making up his own record label, Mass Appeal, diversifying his portfolio as an artist, and thereby influencing other artists to do the same as well. His legacy includes critical acclaim, cultural icon, and enduring relevance. Now, in critical acclaim, Nas's influence and impact on hip-hop culture have been widely recognized by both fans and critics. Under critical icon, Nas's influence extends beyond music into fashion, film, and literature. He's collaborated with brands like Fila, Supreme, and appeared in films such as Benny and The Departed, and even published a children's book titled I Know I Can, inspired by his song I Can. Enduring relevance. Despite the changes in the music industry and shifting trends in hip-hop, Nas's music remains relevant and continues to resonate with audiences worldwide. His albums are timeless classics, and his impact on the genre is sure to endure for generations to come. Hold on tight as we explore Nas's personality and his creative processes. Personality has power to uplift, power to depress, power to curse, and power to bless. But I'd like us to just take a look at how Nas has never had like a publicly disgusting or any type of legal issue. Just think about that.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
His personality, motivations, and his creative processes can be seen using the following. His introspective nature. Nas has often been described as introspective and thoughtful. Mature, his passion for hip-hop is visible in his interviews and when he speaks in public about his passion for hip-hop. Now, for example, he often talks about his history, its ability to be able to lift up communities and bring about change. Number 3 talks of social and political consciousness. Nas in his music often talks about the racism sometimes, and it also talks about the social injustices, so he's bringing awareness through his music. Coming up at number 4, Nas's entrepreneurial spirit. Nas has ventured into business, being in partnerships with Hennessy, investing in tech startups like Proven, being an owner of History, and also being part of Lander. Coming up at number 5, his perseverance. Now, if you know anything about this dude, you know that he is resilient. I mean, from having lost his mother, having been attacked by many artists saying that he has fallen off and rising back up again, you know that he's dedicated to personal growth. He's dedicated into being a better version of himself. Before we conclude, please tell me in the comment section below, what are some of your favorite albums from Nas? What are some of your favorite moments that you know of Nas? If you have anything interesting to share, please tell me in the comment section down below. It might be even that particular time when Tupac stepped up to Nas with Snoop Dogg, about to pick a fight. You can tell me those interesting things in the comment section down below. Well, there you have it, folks. Thank you so very much for joining me in today's session of exploring creativity and culture. I so very much appreciate your eyeballs into this video. Please, in the comment section down below, comment what type of artist should I explore and what type of content would you like to see. Please, let's keep this conversation going. With that being said, please click this other video of mine talking about the history of hip-hop. You will enjoy that one as well. I am Robust, the brother with the focus, saying stay creative and keep it hip-hop.